Okay, let's do this again. Okay, so take two. And this is what you get for having a live webinar, right? Anything goes. So again, thank you, JB, for letting me know. I'm pretty sure someone else did mention that one, that there's no audio. So yeah. So thank you. So again, I would like to welcome everyone in this live webinar. Good evening if you are here in British Columbia, and good morning or good afternoon if you are watching from Philippines, Asia, Asian countries. Good morning or almost good afternoon. So this live webinar is about the study, work, and immigrate to Canada, which is the fast track and easy way of coming to Canada. And my name is Israel Roman, and I'm a registered Canadian immigration consultant. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so who am I really? All right. So anyone that is providing you advice with regards to immigration, with regards to how to fill up the application form for a tourist visa or work permit or permanent residence or sponsorship, study permit, they need to be licensed with ICCRC. Now, if you're dealing with someone that is licensed with ICCRC, if you have any complaint against that consultant, you're able to file a complaint and ICCRC will deal with that one. But if you're working with someone that is not licensed, then they won't be able to do anything for you. They won't be able to help you. So, and in order for you to check if that person is really licensed and legally able to provide advice with regards to immigration, you can go to ICCRC. I'll click that one. So this is the homepage of the registry. So ICCRC, and then if you scroll down, hit learn more and type in the last name of the agent or consultant you're working with. So let's say for this one, it's me. It would be for me. Then last name is Roman. First name is Israel. And hit search. And you'll see there my name, Roman Israel. Status is active and contact. And this one right here, R524540, is my license number. And if you hit contact, it would show you where I am based. So I am based here in Nanaimo, British Columbia, Canada. And the company I work for is Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. So now you know that the person that you are working with is a licensed immigration consultant. So that's good. That's one step. Now the other step is that immigration consultant did mention that he worked for a company. So now let's go check if that company really exists. So especially if the company is registered here in Canada, then you can go to Canada Business Registry. Hit I accept the terms of use and hit the location. Select the location British Columbia because that's where the company is. And a Roman and Associates. And there you go. The company should pop out right there. So Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. And it says on the status, it is active, and the business type is BC company. So these are the two ways that you can use in order to make sure that the person you're working with or you have acquired service is a legit and legally able to provide the services, right? Especially nowadays, there's a lot. There's a lot of people out there that's taking advantage, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are equipped with some tools on how you can research. And because you can't just ask the person, are you legit, or is this a scam? Because if even if they are not legit, or they are scamming you, I don't think they'll be honest enough to tell you, hey, I'm not legit and I'm scamming you, but still, this is what I'm asking you to pay me. Please pay me, right? So I don't think they'll be able. I don't think anyone will come forward to you like that. The other tip is Google, right? You can always search for that person in Google if there's anything about him that is kind of like a red flag. So I typed in Google Israel, Roman, Nanaimo, because that's what I said, that I'm from Nanaimo. So there you go. So let's go type in if Israel really exists in Nanaimo. So there you go. So on the right hand side, it would show you Roman and Associates. So because that's where I am affiliated with. And then you'll see here this top right here is the website of Roman and Associates. These are pictures. We'll go click some of them later on. We'll find some credible link, right? So maybe right here, nanaimobulletin.com. So this is a newspaper. Nanaimo Hospital Auxiliary Donation tops 300,000, and there's my name right there. Israel Roman, NRGH, Intensive Care Unit, Telemetry Medicine Floor, Heart Health Manager. Okay, and then so yeah. Now let's go click on the picture. There you go, and let me just open my video so that you can compare it, right? So there you go. You can see that those two faces are the same, right? And here's another picture of myself. And the article is about the Nanaimo from Nanaimo News Bulletin, Nanaimo Hospital Auxiliary Donation tops 300. So I was there to kind of like say thank you to all the people that have donated to the hospital. And this one right here is when I was touring a politician inside one of the units in the hospital. So that's me right there. All right. Okay. So the only reason why I am showing you guys this one is so that you guys would have some tools in your belt in order to make sure that you're not being scammed and the money that you are paying the person is going where it should go, right? Your hard-earned money should go where it should be going. All right. Just a reminder, please go ahead and share to those who just joined us. Thank you for joining us. Please do like and share our live stream to your friends and families. Hello to Rochelle, JB, Sarina, Gemma, Sarme, Ken, Janet Mendoza, De Castro. Thank you all for watching. If you have any comments, any questions, please don't hesitate to enter them in the comment section if you are in the Facebook Live. If you are in the Zoom, there is a chat box section. Please go ahead and just type in your question. I will go ahead and review them from time to time. Okay, moving on. So pathway to Canada. So I'll show you first the popular express entry, right? So I'm pretty sure if you guys really want to come to Canada, you have researched something that, let's say, coming to Canada to work or study, or you have encountered express entry. I will just give you a high level overview of what express entry is and how is this connected to the the webinar, right? To your goal of being a permanent resident here in Canada, because that is what you'll be landing. That is the goal, is to be a permanent resident here in Canada, or even citizen, right? 90% of the time that's the goal. But if your goal here is to just study and come back home, then that's totally fine as well. But yeah, so express entry. So the express entry, there are three categories. You have the federal skilled worker, you have the trades worker program, and the Canadian experience class. So in the express entry, what happens is that you fill out the form, and then based on the form, you'll have a score, right? Once you meet the minimum score, you'll be entered in a pool, express entry pool. And then once you are there, you just wait until the immigration says that I need the top 1,000. I would like to invite you guys to apply for permanent residence. Now, the IRCC did say, let's say top 1,000. So now you're in the pool. Where are you in that pool? What ranking, where do you rank in that pool? If you are in the top 1,000 based on your score, then even if you just applied yesterday, but then your score, you're in the, let's say, 999th place rank, then there you go. You are now invited to apply for permanent residence. And then after that one, you submit your application for PR and come here. So this is no longer a first come first serve basis, the express entry. It is more of a ranking system, score. So as I have said, so let's say this person right here, right in front of the line, has been here for 10 years, submitted the application for 10 years. This one's for 9 years, the one that had 500 points. This 464 maybe applied, maybe let's say 2 years ago. This 690 applied yesterday, right? So those are the scores: 690, 464, 670, and 500. Now, immigration did say, okay, everyone that is top 1,000, you go ahead and apply for your permanent residence. And the top 1,000, the rank 1,000, his or her score is, let's say, 500. So that means everyone that scored 500 and above was in the top 1,000. So this person right here would be applying for PR. This person right here, 670 points, will be applying for PR. This person right here, who's been in the lineup for 2-3 years with 464, unfortunately, he didn't make the cut. But this person right here, 690 points, who, let's say, just applied yesterday, is now given the invitation to apply for permanent residence. So that's how express entry works. You need to meet the minimum, but you also need to have a high score. So do not be contented with the minimum score. And this is how they score the comprehensive ranking scoring system. So there's the age, level of education, language, Canadian work experience, and there's some scores in there, right? And then if you have a spouse, your spouse would have a score as well. So, and then we add those scores, and that's where the 670, 494, 500 comes from. Okay, so what are the minimum requirements then? So each of this category, federal trades, skilled, Canadian experience, they have their own minimum. You need to meet the minimum. But again, minimum is not enough, right? For the federal trade work experience, you need to have at least 2 years of full-time work experience within 5 years in this trade or in this line of work. So when you say trades, it's more like hands-on. So you have the industrial electrical, construction trades, maintenance, supervisor and technical jobs, manufacturing and utility supervisor, chef, cooks, butchers, and bakers. Those are the few trades work, right? And you need to have at least 2 years of full-time work. And we say full-time, it has to be 30 hours or more. Your language, so when you take your IELTS, you need to have CLB 5 for your speaking and listening. For your reading and writing, you only need CLB 4, so not that high. And interestingly, you don't need any education for this one, right? But again, if you don't have any education, even if you meet the minimum, you won't have any score for your education. So that one won't help you in terms of your ranking. And the kicker on this one is have an offer of full-time employment for a total of at least 1 year. And this one would be employment here in Canada, right? So you need to have an employer here in Canada willing to sponsor you. And during this time, it's hard to find an employer that would be willing to sponsor trades. And it's hard for an employer to get approval from the government as well to hire foreign worker to come here and work as a chef or a butcher, because there's a lot of unemployment happening right now. So I would say the trades, you can cross that one off. You won't. It's going to be hard, difficult to come to Canada via express entry federal trades worker. Now let's see the skilled worker program. What is the minimum requirement for the skilled worker? So the work experience would be at least 1 year only, 1 year or 30 hours per week, and it has to be continuous full time, right? And it has to be paid work. It cannot be it can't be the volunteer work or unpaid internship. That won't count, or it cannot. That one you cannot count that one into your work experience, and it has to be in the same job, right? So let's say the length of service, the more the more let's say you're working as a supervisor, the more years you're working as a supervisor, the more points you get. All right. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you've been working as a supervisor for 4 years, and then just recently, last year, you got promoted to be a manager. So now you're working your recent employment. You have been working for as a manager for 1 year, even though it looks like, oh yes, I'm a manager, I have been promoted, even though the manager ranking system hierarchy, it's top, it's above the supervisory role. When it comes to the points though, your supervisory role for 4 years would have more points than being a manager for 1 year, right? So it would have been better if rather than being promoted last year, you just ended up being a supervisor. So now you're a supervisor for 5 years, because that would be additional points because you added another year to your supervisory role. So yeah, so I'm hoping that that is a bit clear, and it has to be within the last 10 years, okay? And it has to be in the skill type 0, A, or B. So this one would be in a supervisory role or managerial role, or yes, so it can't be, let's say, food service worker. That won't count because in the national occupation matrix for Canada, that would fall under NOC skill type C or D, so that one won't count. So it has to be supervisory role or managerial role. When it comes to the language, your IELTS, you you need to have CLB 7 on your speaking, listening, reading, and writing, right? So that would be IELTS score of 6.0. So this one would be a bit higher than the trades. Education, so you need to have a Canadian secondary high school or post-secondary certificate or diploma. Okay, and this one needs to be accredited or assessed by a third party, let's say WES or WES, or the ICES, which is from BCIT or British Columbia Institute of Technology. Now, for the skilled worker, this one has this point system. And this is different from the ranking, right? So I just don't want you to get confused on that one. So in a skilled worker, you need to have 67 points to meet the minimum to meet the minimum and for the skilled worker program. Okay. While the other one, you just need to meet those minimums. Let's say the English exam, the employment, offer of employment, but there's no points for that one. You'll have your comprehensive ranking score right away. For the federal skilled worker, this is how you meet the minimum. You have to get 67 points, and then that whatever you have in there will be converted to your comprehensive ranking score to see where you'll rank in the pool. So 67 points out of 100 in the 6 factors, namely would be the language, education, work experience, age, valid job offer, and adaptability. So adaptability, if you have a relative here, that is a score on your application. So let's give an example of your scoring, all right? Okay, so let's say your language exam, IELTS, you did get CLB 8, so that's even higher than 7. You'll get 20 points for that one. Education, you have master's degree, you'll get 23 points. Again, this is the 67 points. 67 out of you need 67 points out of 100 to meet the minimum, all right? Work experience, 6 years or more, you got 15 points. Age, 18 to 35, you got 12 points. You don't have a job offer, but you have a spouse or relative. So that's 5 points. That would give you 77 points. So that's good. You meet the minimum requirement of 67 points, right? But again, as I've mentioned earlier, we don't want the minimum. We want as high as we can because we want to rank on the top so that we can get the invitation to apply for permanent residence. So again, so that 77 points will be converted now to your comprehensive ranking score. And again, this is the way they score it, just a high level overview. So with that one, with these 77 points, your comprehensive ranking score would give you a score of 405, right? Now, in history, the lowest comprehensive ranking score invited to apply for permanent residency is 415. So even if you have your master's degree, your CLB 8, and adaptability, you got score there, your age, you're in the prime age, you still didn't get enough points in the comprehensive ranking score to be able to get that invitation to apply for permanent residency, right? It is really hard to get an invitation. It's not impossible. It is just hard, right? So let's federal skilled probably, all right? Possibly, but I need to work on my English and I need to maybe add a master's degree. But mind you though, the the age, 18 to 35, you get the maximum points. If you get older, as you get older, your score decreases, right? Your points lessens. So you might have additional score for your master's degree, but then for your age, you have now a lesser score. So those are the things that you need to kind of like look at, because I don't want you guys to waste your money taking master's degree and then with the goal of getting a high score, but you didn't realize that, oh, my age is now in a level wherein I don't have any score for my age, right? So the next one is the Canadian Experience class. So minimum requirement would be the work experience, 1 year of paid Canadian experience, right? So how am I able to use this pathway right here if it says Canadian experience? I'm not in Canada. I'm in the Philippines right now. So hang tight. That's a great question. And the paid Canadian experience need to have a full-time work, so 30, at least 30 hours per week, and it has to be paid, and it has to be within the last 3 years, and it should be in skill type 0A or B. Okay. Language would be CLB 7 for NOC 0 and A. That means IELTS score of 6.0. CLB 5 for NOC B, which means IELTS of 5.0 for your writing, speaking, and listening, but only 4.0 for your reading. Okay. Education, it's not required to meet the minimum, but again, we're not here to meet the minimum. We're here to get as high as we can, right? So just try to remember Canadian Experience class, because this is your ticket for your permanent residency. Okay, but how? So that would be via study permit program. Okay. And when we say study permit program, you can go ahead and study in Centennial College, Thompsons River University, Capilano, New York Institute, Niagara College, Cambrian, LaSalle College, Norton College, University of Windsor, York, College of the Rockies, UBC, and many more. And these are the only schools that I can fit in my slide, but there's tons of public schools out there that you can apply for, right? Or get into, except Quebec. We don't provide services for applicants going to Quebec. But for all other provinces, yes, let's say British Columbia, we call them provinces. So for all the other provinces, yes, we will help you get into the school, right? So, and if you have if you already have relatives, let's say in Winnipeg, and you want to go there in Winnipeg, then we will find a school that would be best fit your education background and your employment background as well, right? In Winnipeg kind of thing, or wherever you want, right? It depends on what you want or what you need as well, right? So yeah. So how does this one help you get a permanent resident or land you a permanent resident? So what will happen is you apply for a study permit, and this study permit, the course needs to be at least a 12-month course or more, right? You cannot enroll in a course that has less than 12 months, right? Because that one won't qualify for what we are trying to achieve here. So it has to be a course that is 1 year in length, at least 1 year. After you have passed the course, so let's say you finish your 12-month course, then you will be applying for a postgraduate work permit. And postgraduate work permit is only for those students who are a graduate of the public school, right? If you are going to a private school, there is no postgraduate work permit after that one. So you cannot apply for a postgraduate work permit. If you are graduating from a private school, so be careful on that one. Make sure that you apply in a public school. Of course, if we're the one handling your case, of course, we will make sure that you'll be in a public school. And then after working for a year, at least a year, then that would be the time you apply for your permanent residency. And guess what? This one would be under the Express Entry Program Canadian Experience class. So if you can recall in the previous slide, for the Canadian Experience class, you need at least 1 year of paid Canadian experience, which we have ticked that one off here. And then, of course, you have your college degree, and then you'll be taking your IELTS, and there you go. That's how you will end up as a permanent resident here in Canada. And that's why we say it's a fast track and easy, because this is it's the fastest way and the easiest way. It might not be the cheapest way, but it is a pathway that would meet your goal, right? So what are the requirements, federal requirements for study permit? So of course you need to be legal age of 18 and above. Successfully pass a verification for the criminal record. So this would kind of like show that you are admissible to Canada. So no criminal record and no misrepresentation. Be in good health, so you're relatively healthy and sound mind. And provide all documentation required truthfully and accurately. So avoid misrepresenting yourself, because that one will haunt you later on. Proof of financial support, right? So the government needs to make sure that you're able to support yourself while you are here studying. And if you are bringing your spouse with you, you need to be able to show that you are able to support your spouse as well. And if you're bringing your children, your child, same thing. You need to be able to show that you'll be able to support your spouse and your child, right? So proof of financial support. So just the tuition fee, just for the first year. You need to be able to show that you're able to pay the first year tuition fee, and your living expense, or this one, everyone calls it your show money, 15,000 CAD or Canadian dollar. So if you are going to enroll in a 4-year degree course, you don't need to show the total amount for 4 years. You only need to show that you're able to pay the first year tuition fee, okay? And then show that you have 15K as your living expense, because the government needs to make sure that you'll be able to survive in terms of your housing, your food while you're studying. And to show this one, we would need the bank statement for the past 4 months to show that there's activity in the bank. And for this one, for the financial support, it doesn't need to be under your name. If you're being sponsored by your relative, friend, or someone, then we just need to show the financial statements of that person, right? And then there will be a letter of support from that person as part of the application. So you don't need to have it under your name. And it could be a bank loan as well. So letter from the person, any relatives or friends, providing providing you the money, right? So it could be again a loan from the bank for your tuition fee and your living expense. Shout out to Abdos, Kerry Von Acheta, SP De Cruz, Frolene Velasquez, Myra Adriatico. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names incorrectly. Apologies on that one. Shout out to Kat De La Cruz, Marlita Manzano, Manganti Divina, Valen Mendoza, Alan Tan Bautista. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to share and like us, please. Thank you. To continue on, so federal requirement for study permit, you need to have the acceptance letter. When you submit your application for a study permit, acceptance letter is coming from the school that they have accepted you as their potential student. And you only get your acceptance letter after you pay. This one's kind of like, it depends on the school. So it could be vary from 10% to 50% down payment of the school tuition fee. Again, it's not a standard percent. It depends on the school, depends on the course, right? But in case your visa application is refused for some reason, your down payment will be refunded to you. So you won't lose your down payment. And then the balance can be paid while in school. And how this one is paid in terms of the terms, this one would be based on the school as well. We're not the one dictating that one, it's the school. Now, in terms of the money that you pay, that you need to pay the school, we are not going to touch your money. You will pay that one directly to the school. So you will communicate directly to the school so that you are 100% confident that you'll be 100% confident that your money goes where it should be going, which is to the school. And then we'll create a learning plan, right? We need to show that one to the immigration officer, like, why are you coming to Canada and spend a lot of money to study, right? Why not just stay in your home country and study the course that you want to study here, right? So again, down payment is paid directly to the school and it is refundable. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. So school requirements. So earlier, the last two previous slides, that is the federal requirement, right? So that's for the IRCC. This one now is what are the things that the school is looking for to admit you or accept you as their student. So they'll be looking at your course assessment form, and then transcript of record, diploma for your post-secondary college, copy of your passport, IELTS score. And with this one, so the benefit of having us helping you get into a school, with regards to the transcript of record, diploma, you don't need to go through like a notary or any hustle like that. You would just send a clear copy to us, and we will attest that it is a legit document, and that is what we submit the school, right? Directly to the school. So it is easier that way. So what's your as a student, what are the benefits, right? So you have interest-free payment plans will be available. So based on the school, depends on the school, it would be most of them would be interest-free. Excuse. The school will assist you in connecting you with housing. All right. If you want to be renting in a place close to the school or within the school, there is a housing coordinator for that one. If not, there's a lot of rental space in the vicinity of a university, right? So there's Airbnb and those low cost rentals as well. And then in some schools, they have their immigration advisor as well, or a Canadian immigration consultant to help you as well uh, go through this process while you are in school. But it doesn't mean though that we will be out of the picture. We are still there for you. So you're still our client, and we'll still have that connection. You can always give us a call or chat with us if you have any questions. There's also grants and loans available for international students, but of course that would be available only once you are here, right? So there's some grants that would be, it ranges from 1,000 to $10,000, right? It depends on what they're looking for in a student, and loans as well. There are loans as well available here, but again, these are only available once you are here. The other benefit would be work working student. While you're in school, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week. And if it's off school season, you're allowed 40 hours per week. And when you are working, you will be receiving at least the province minimum wage. You won't be receiving lower than the minimum wage because you're a student. No, right? So you will be earning at least the province's minimum wage. And as I've said earlier, you'll be able to bring your spouse or your dependent child, right? As while you're studying here, your spouse can be with you working and earning money while you are in school, right? So because when your spouse comes with you, your spouse will have an open work permit. That means your spouse will be able to work in any occupation, any employer, as long as he or she is qualified for that job. And yes, you may bring your loved one with you. Okay. So what's next after school? So once you have completed your 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, you'll work under the postgraduate work permit. If it's a 1 year study, your postgraduate work permit will be 1 year as well. If your study is 2 years or more, your postgraduate work permit will be 3 years. The validity will be 3 years. If you notice there is no postgraduate work permit if the course is less than a year. That's why I did mention earlier that you need to have, when you apply for a course, it has to be at least 12 months, especially if the goal is to be a permanent resident, right? And postgraduate work permit is only for graduates of a public school. If you're a graduate of a private school, you won't be entitled for a postgraduate work permit or a work permit. Then, after working for a year, at least a year, then you apply for your permanent residency. Then, later on, apply for your citizenship. Later on, or even while you are a permanent resident, you can now sponsor your parents to come here. So, of course, money matters. This is not for free. It is not a scholarship. It is a big investment, but it is an investment that is on you, right? You are investing on yourself. And so the return of investment would be relies on you, on how you'll use your education, the education that you got, in order to find a job and earn money, and so that you'll be able to get your investment back, which is, I think, better than, no offense to the online business out there, let's say selling products online, because those products, you need to find the right consumer, and hopefully that consumer will be buying your product all the time, right? Because if not, then then your business is gonna go down, right? So return of investment there's investment for that one. It might be smaller than this one, but if you're not going to get your investment back and not earn anything from it, then I think it's not worth, right, your time, right? This one might have a bigger investment, but the benefits would be bigger for sure. So when you come here, minimum wage is, let's say you are in Newfoundland, 11.65, and the highest is in Alberta, $15 per hour. So anyone in between, and then all the other provinces are in between 11.65 and $15, right? For the minimum wage. So minimum wage across Canada, there you go. You'll see it in there in the map. So British Columbia, you have 14.60. As you see, Alberta, $15. Saskatchewan, 11.32. Manitoba, 11.65. And you'll see Newfoundland all the way up there. So that's a bit cold up there. Nunavut, I don't want to be there. That's a bit cold as well. So I would rather have you guys go to school here in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, not Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, right? So those places right there, but not the one up here, because that's a bit cold, right? So yeah, it's kind of like around negative 20, 30 degrees. So yeah, it's always daytime. So there you go. So wage sample in BC. Let's say in BC you're earning the minimum wage of $14.60 an hour times 40 hours per week. That would give you $584 per week. And if you are working in a month, 4 weeks, that would give you 2,336. If you are now working for a year, right, then that would give you 28,000 a year. Now 28,000 seems to be low, right? Okay, so how much is that one if we convert that one to, say, Philippine peso? That would give you close to 1,000,000 pesos per year, working at a minimum wage of 14.60. That's only minimum. I'm pretty sure you'll be working minimum. You might be working minimum for the first 6 months, but later on you'll be above your minimum wage, so you'll be earning more. Now, if you have your spouse with you, then your spouse will be, and your spouse is working also full-time hours, 40 hours a week, then your spouse will also be earning 981,000. Now, if you have children, your children will have the ability, will be able to avail the free education here between grades 1 to 12. So just imagine how much, if your if you were still in your home country, how much would the tuition fee be to let them study in a school, right? So that you can count that one as your income, family income as well. Okay, so that's how much money you'll be getting, but how much money do I need to really invest on myself? So for students with no dependent, so this is required at least 12,000. So I did mention 15,000 earlier. I just need to adjust this one. This is the minimum, 12,000, but we don't want minimum. We want at least have a buffer so that the immigration officer won't say, "Oh, you just have minimum, so you'll struggle later on." So that's why I did mention at least 15,000 on the other slide. So that is your show money, right? Living expense. If you will have your spouse with you, you will need to add another 4,000 for that one, for your show money. If you have a child to come with you, that would be additional 3,000, and another 3,000 for any other additional family member coming with you. Hello, Jeng. Hello, Tan. Hello, Rowena. Hello, Phoebe. Hello, Jen, Susan. Hello, Marilyn Duncan. Hello, Myra Adriatico. Again, thank you again for watching. Please do like us and share, please. Now, the average school tuition is between 10,000 to 20,000 CAD or Canadian dollars per year. And again, your dependents, if your spouse, or yeah, if you're for your spouse will be working unlimited hours, right? They're not bound to that 40 hours a week. If he works more than 40 hours a week, then that would be overtime, and they're okay, and they're allowed to work overtime as well. So administration fee. Once we have determined that you are eligible and we can find you a course, and then we have laid you out the course for you, the choices, then the administration fee for that one would be 1,400 CAD or 48,000 pesos. With that one, we are also including, for a limited time offer, we are including free unlimited IELTS review. This one will help you get the score that you need, not just the minimum score, but higher for sure. So yeah, so you'll get free unlimited IELTS review. We will take care of your IELTS exam as well. And normally there is we have a fee, our immigration consultant's fee of 1,500. Since as part of this webinar, that 1,500 is waived, right? So that's your discount. So you don't need to worry about that one since you're part of this webinar. And this is our way of saying thank you for joining us in this webinar and proceeding uh, with your goal of being a permanent resident here through us, right? So again, the administration fee of 1,400 or 48,000, which includes your free unlimited IELTS, free IELTS exam, and your consultant fee being waived. That is only after we know that you're eligible. Okay. So eligibility check, you're not paying anything for this one, right? We have to determine first that we will be able to find a course for you and a school, right? We don't want to waste your time and your money if there's no hope, sorry, lack of better term, if there's no chance for you to come here via the study permit process, right? I mean, like there might be other pathway, but if it's not for the study permit, we'll let you know, and so that you don't waste your time and you don't need to spend your money. And then now, once we find out that we determine that you're eligible, then that's the only time you will pay that 1,400 or the 48,000 pesos. And then after that one is submission of documents to the school. And then you're given choices of courses, right? So once we submit first we search for the school and courses for you. Once we have searched that one, we'll be presenting it to you. Now you have the option, you have, yeah, now you will be choosing which course based on your financial situation and what you know that you'll like. So you choose the course and school. Then applicant submits an additional document to the school. This is now the actual school application, all right, or school admission. So there'll be the application fee for this one is, it varies as well from school to school. And then once you have been tentatively accepted, they'll say, okay, you are now uh, tentatively accepted. Now you're now required to pay the down payment, and that one will be all of the documents, all of the correspondence will be coming from the school, giving you instruction on how to pay the down payment. And then you'll receive your official letter of acceptance, and then normally there is a $1,000 fee for us doing your study permit application. So that one's waived. Now we submit your documents for study permit. So this one is submitting it to IRCC now, right? So you already have all of your documents. We submit it now to ICCRC. Usually after submitting, the applicant pays the last 500, but for this one, this is waived for you guys. And then we apply for the study permit and then come to Canada. Okay, so that is the high level overview of the process. But just to be mindful, the eligibility check, you don't have to pay anything at that stage, right? I just want to clear that one. It's only after us knowing that we will be able to find you a course and school. That would be the only time we will proceed to the next box, which is the registration, and that is where the administration fee would be due. And then once you pay that one, then we will go ahead and start organizing your unlimited IELTS review. And then once you're ready to take the exam, we'll go ahead and organize your IELTS exam. So another way of looking at it in terms of the flow. So first is your study permit. Once you have your study permit, once you finish your study, you get your postgraduate work permit. And then you now apply for your express entry Canadian experience class. And the next thing after that one is, after working for a year, then you apply for your permanent resident status. And then for your citizenship. So this is the fast track and easy way to come to Canada. All right. So study permit, PGWP, express entry, and then you'll get your PR, and then citizenship later on. So what is the next step? And this is only if this is a pathway for you, right? I don't want you guys to waste your time if you know that this is not for you, right? It might be good information, but not for you. So do not waste your time. That's okay. Maybe there's other ways for you to come to Canada. But if this is the way for you, if this is something that meets your need and something that interests you and would like to avail the promo that I have mentioned, then all you need to do is please send your resume for the eligibility check. All right, so resume to assessment@romancanadianimmigration.ca. Again, it's the assessment@romancanadianimmigration.ca. And with the subject line, please, so that it doesn't go buried in our inbox, because we do receive a lot of emails. We want to triage your email accurately and efficiently, please write down study, work, and immigrate to Canada as the subject line. All right. And once we have determined you are eligible, then we proceed to the next step, which is the registration, and then that would be the only time you'll pay the 48,000. And in this step right here, the registration, when we email you, we would also give you instruction on how to settle that 48,000 and which bank, which is Banco de Oro, but it would be our business account is in BDO or Banco de Oro, and you'll see it in the email as well, like any other payment methods. So yeah, and I don't seem to recall in the slide here that our offices. So our main office is here in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and we also have our Philippine location, which is in President JP Laurel Highway, Lipa City, Batangas. So if you are from Batangas or Lipa City and you want to visit us, yes, perfectly, you may do so. And yeah, all right. So that concludes the live webinar with regards to the fast track and easy pathway to Canada. So I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who have joined us. Thank you for liking and sharing, and yeah, and also if you are, I'll take this opportunity to plug in. We have another live webinar. Sorry, I'm just trying to think because I don't want to, because it's the time difference. Today, your time, right? It is Saturday, your time. Yeah, it's Saturday, 8 p.m. your time. We have another free live webinar. This one would be around nursing, right? How to come to Canada as a nurse, work as a nurse, and immigrate as a nurse, as an RN. And that would be tonight at 8 p.m. So please let your friends know. You can always go to our FB page under events section to see all the upcoming events. For next week, for sure, at 8 p.m. on Friday, we have webinar on caregivers. And then 8 p.m. Friday next week, the same study permit pathway. And then Saturday, 8 p.m. next week would be again the nursing pathway. So those are the upcoming webinars, and they are all posted in our Facebook page, business page. So please check our Facebook page and register through our Zoom account. So yeah. Now, if you have any questions, this is the time to get your questions in, and I'll go ahead and try to answer them one at a time. Again, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Jomi. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Juna. Thank you, Patel. Thank you, Arlene. Jason, thank you. Thank you, Mars. Ace and Dunka, thank you. Thank you, Zell. Thank you, Hernandez Alvin. Thank you, Joe, Elisa. Thank you, Janeline Jarep. Thank you, Darwin. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Alan Tan. Thank you, Donna. All right. Okay, so I guess there's no questions. If you have any questions after this one, don't hesitate to give us a just to message us in our Facebook page, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So that's it for me for today. You enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening. Please stay safe. Keep your distance, 6 feet distance. If you're not able to, please wear your mask. Sanitize your hands. Wash your hands. Wash hands. Wash hands. Wash hands. Sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. And do not touch your face. Okay? All right. For everyone, stay safe. Goodbye and thank you.